Yeah.
Alright guys, we're back finally with another one. And today I'm going to be doing a camera comparison between the Vivo X Fold 3 Pro and the Google Pixel 9 Pro Fold. And this past weekend, my wife and I took our son to the zoo, so I was able to get some pictures and just spend some time with the cameras and actually record. Now, I'm going to go into this and be honest with you guys. I am no camera expert by any means. Even if you see these items laying across the background, just camera doohickeys or whatever you want to call them, just laying around just to kind of set the scene because this is a camera comparison. But I don't know much about cameras. What I'm going to speak on is what I saw and what I preferred out of each of the cameras. Both are great. I'll go in saying that right now. They're both good and they both have their weaknesses, and I'll talk about those. So, with that being said, I'll get right into it. So, as you'll see, I'm in my photo album, and I have a bunch of photos up here, and I have a couple of videos that I recorded, but I'm more of a photo guy. But I just prefer photos as opposed to videos. Don't know why. I can't even justify it, but either way. So, with that being said, right out the gate, what I'm going to talk about is noticeable differences in photos. Actually, let me pick one that's not zoomed in just to show you guys what I was seeing. So this one is the Vivo. I have to look at the information because I have Google Photos set up and it shares the photos across the devices. But this is the Vivo photo, and this is also the Vivo photo. Let's see. This is the Google. Okay. So, looking at those photos, and what I'm going to do is also I'm going to try to learn between now and when I actually edit the video how to pop these side by side up on the screen so you can see. But anyway, what I'll tell you what I noticed right out the bat, right out the bat. So once you zoom into the photo, so just before you zoom in, let's say this. I see right off the bat that these are both great photos. I'm getting spam on my Pixel 9 Pro Fold. But I would say that the Vivo comes through more clearly at first glance. And I think that's going to be the case when you zoom in as well. Now, I will say that the Vivo does apply some type of AI in their photos where it tries to fill in gaps for what it thinks it sees. And I'll talk more on that in the zoomed photos. Whereas the Pixel 9 Pro Fold will just allow the photo to blur. It won't try to fill in those gaps. It'll just allow it because it's I'm not filling in information that I don't see. So you'll notice that it's more blurry. And like I said, I'll try to figure that out in editing so you can see it more clearly as opposed to looking at phones that I'm holding. But once I do, the Vivo has it real bad where it does apply an AI look on its photos on when you zoom in using the actual camera. Not me just pinching the zoom into the photo, but just when you actually zoom on the camera itself, it does past a certain point. I'm not sure if it starts at 3 times or 5 times, but it does apply this AI effect heavily to fill in gaps to the point where it looks like this. Um, someone in my comments, and I can't get it out of my head now. I can't unsee it now that they said it, but they say it looks like crayons, and I say it will look more like watercolor, something like that. But it looks like a painted look, and I'm not sure if I like it or I don't like it. I can't figure out which one. I'm kind of in between because the photo itself looks great when you don't zoom in, but when you zoom in, I mean, it's even slightly noticeable when you don't zoom in, but when you zoom in on the photo, it looks painted. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. Because I really want to capture what I'm actually seeing. For example, let me see. I think this is going to be the Vivo photo. Yeah, I could tell. That one as well. But yeah, you guys can tell like this is going to be the Google photo. I could tell right off the bat. Yeah. When you zoom in, it loses detail. You could tell that it didn't capture all the detail that was out there. But I'm kind of torn whether I prefer like the blurry look because it's just the detail just wasn't there for it to capture. It just was unable to capture that due to the lower megapixel cameras. Or do I want that AI look? I wish I could get somewhere in between where it used the higher megapixel camera to capture that detail, but it doesn't use AI to fill in those gaps. I just wish it wouldn't do that. And I think that's where I'm landing. I really prefer something in the middle. And I think that's going to be the case going forward in a lot of my camera comparisons when I look at these photos. Um, I will say, let's move on and let me see if this is the Vivo photo. Good, 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 good. Let's come out of the tiger. Let's go to the giraffe. And this is going to be the pixel photo, I could tell. Okay, so two great photos here. And this is where I'm going to say, even though I got a better position on the giraffe on this one, I actually like the position of the giraffe with his neck more extended up as opposed to leaning forward. But I will say that this is where the Vivo shines a little more, where you don't zoom in on the camera at all. You don't use the zoom on the camera. And when you zoom into the photo, you can see that it maintains more detail. And that's just simply due to the higher megapixel camera. You can tell that the pixel loses detail quickly. So that's going to be the common theme throughout this photo comparison, this camera comparison, I should say. Um, Now, I will say, I wish that I had taken more portraits on my Google so I could have. All right, sorry about that, guys. My memory card got full again. I need to invest in more memory cards and larger memory cards. But anyway, back to what I was saying. I wish I had taken more portraits on my Pixel 9 Pro Folds to have something to compare because I really didn't take any. And that, I guess that speaks more to my preference when it comes to photos because I could say that the Vivo captured more detail and more hair strands. You could tell that my son's hair is just all over the place from the wind and it just being curly overall. But I would say that it kept more of those strands in focus in the portrait mode than I have noticed on the Pixel 9 Pro Fold in the past. And I really wish I had captured some. But anyway, moving forward, I won't linger on that simply because I have nothing to compare there. What I will say is I'm always torn between the photos that come out of the Pixel as far as zoom, and I've covered that already as far as zoom goes. And I just don't know which one I prefer. But anyway, I'm gonna move on from the zoom. And what I will touch bases on is this. Let's see, which one is the Vivo? This is going to be the Vivo because it has that wider capture, that wider main camera. So I did notice that even though both of these were sitting at one zoom in the one time zoom in these photos, which is no zoom, I think that's what they mean when it comes to cameras, is you captured more on the Vivo as opposed to the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. And I was standing at the exact same distance and I was holding these cameras up side by side just like I am right now during this review. And you could tell that the Pixel has a more zoomed in look to it. And I think that has something to do with the aperture. I don't know if it's the aperture or the sensor size, but once again, not a camera expert. Just wanted to compare these guys so you can see what we got. So, yeah. And let's go ahead and move into video. This is not going to be a lengthy review at all because once again, not a camera expert, so I'm not going to waste a lot of your time, but I just wanted to let you guys know that and see what I see and just kind of give you guys my opinion of it. So let's go to a more lengthy video that I captured if I can look over my camera. So right here, both cameras, great. The audio is great. I will say that I did notice that the Pixel 9 Pro Fold did tend to brighten up the scene a bit as opposed to what I was actually seeing. The Vivo was closer, although I felt like it was slightly darker than what I was seeing, ever so slightly, but it was definitely closer to what I was actually seeing. And right there, what I did was zoomed in just to test the zoom between the lenses when you zoom in, and you could tell that on both devices it is jarring, like it snaps, and you could tell that it's switching lenses when you zoom in, and that's the case on both devices. Sometimes it was slightly smoother on the Vivo, but slightly. I really feel like both were jarring when you went to zoom in. And I think that's where Apple just really has their camera design figured out, where you can zoom in and it's not as noticeable. And when you zoom out, it snaps on both devices. It's the same when it's switching between lenses. I don't understand it, and I won't get into it because I don't want to argue with anybody in the comments about something I just genuinely do not know or do not understand. I don't know if it's the layout of the cameras or just the software around the zoom, and there's no smoothening. I don't know if that's a word, but there's no smoothening in between the zoom and in between the switching of the lenses. But like I said, great audio from both, great videos from both. I will say that the Vivo did manage to keep more detail once zoomed in. And once again, I think that just has to do with the megapixels and the zoom, the optical zoom of the camera. Because I think the Vivo goes up to 5 times. I'll pop something up on the screen if I'm wrong. If not, we'll keep moving. But anyway, that's the video section. And I think actually, hold on. I think I have one more video from when we first arrived at the lion enclosure. Let's see. Yep, 32 seconds on both. And once again, these are just the videos that I captured holding the phones up side by side and hitting record. I didn't change any settings, and I didn't I didn't change any settings. Now, what I will point out that you guys may notice is lacking through this camera review is selfie. I think I mentioned this in one of my previous videos, maybe the Vivo versus the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. I don't use the selfie camera at all. I don't. So that's what'll be lacking in this review. I just use the main sensors constantly. What I will say is, just from playing with both of the phones, is the Pixel takes that easily. The Vivo selfie cameras, both outer and inner, just fall short. They don't allow 4K recording. They don't even allow 1080p 60 FPS recording. So the Vivo not the Vivo, the Pixel just takes the cake on that one. It easily. The Pixel is consistent through and through. The Vivo just takes it for me for video recording on the main sensor. I want to retract my previous statement as far as the main sensor goes. It does capture great photos on the Vivo for the main sensor, and if you don't zoom in or you're not far away from the subject, amazing crisp photos. If you're far away from the object, I think even if you're zooming or not, I think it uses AI to fill in, and I'm not sure, but I like I said, the comment in my comment section ruined me because I can't unsee that Crayola watercolor effect that it applies to its pictures. But like I said, for the main sensor, unzoomed, close to medium range from your subject, this one takes the cake. The Pixel takes it in almost every other department outside of video and being close to medium range to your subject. This algorithm that it uses to apply the fixes to the photos and videos, things of that nature, it just is so good. Pixel has done a great job from color down to the amount of detail that it captures and how it fixes that, because we know that the software plays a big role in these cameras on these phones. There's no debate there. We know. So with that being said, I would say the winner for all cameras all around would be the Pixel, and the Vivo for video and close to medium range photos. No zoom. Zoom is great on this camera, but I don't know if I want to give it the win simply because of that AI effect that it automatically applies and you cannot turn it off. I haven't. Well, I'll take that back. I have not figured out how to turn it off. Cause I know someone's gonna come in, gonna jump in there and say, "Yeah, you can turn it off," and you just don't know how. And you don't have to get on me. I understand. I may just not know how to turn it off, and I have not figured it out. It's not easy. It doesn't jump out at you. So overall camera performance, Google, Pixel. It's a clear win for it. Yeah, that's that on that. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. And for more content like this in the future, feel free to like and subscribe, and even hit the comment section for any suggestions, anything I may have mixed in this review outside of selfie cameras, because I just don't care for them, and I won't pretend like I do. But I will say, just from what I've interacted with on the Pixel, it wins. The Vivo has genuinely, I can't deny it. It's sometimes I turn on the selfie camera on the Vivo, and it just makes me lose interest in what I was going to record or take a picture of. So yeah, Pixel wins in all around camera performance. So yeah, appreciate you guys once again. Appreciate you guys tuning in, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later.
Artlist.io.
Yeah, back and I'm better than ever. I think I got a vendetta. Oh, now they call me, I seen them. All of those times getting severed.